Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about the top 5 reasons why MGTOW should be rich. That's right. Why MGTOW should have lots of money. Because here's the thing, and I don't think a lot of you guys realize this. The main way that men are being attacked in this gynocentric system is their livelihood, their ability to hold their jobs. That's what feminism is after, gentlemen. Financial power. And they're playing a zero-sum game. They are looking to knock the men down. That's part of their equation. This is known as an alpha-beta gaming algorithm, okay? Your goal, or the goal, of each person in the game, is not just to help themselves as much as possible in each move, but to hurt their opponent as much as possible. That's the total score. So, a lot of you guys, decent guys, you think everybody's going out there and trying to get ahead. That's just half of it. 50% of the people out there, they're not just trying to get ahead, they're trying to knock you down. I know it seems wrong and it seems misguided, but that's the way it is. It's not honorable, but that's the way it is. So let's get into it. The top 5 reasons why MGTOW should be rich. Number 5 reason. And I'm taking these in reverse order. The MGTOW man knows that women, by nature, are hypergamous, that they are interested in money. You see, a very cruel trick, mental conditioning, is taking place on the men. And it's very subtle, it's very tricky. If you can't understand what's happening, you will fall prey to this particular trap. And the trap is the thought and the idea that men and women are equal, that they are the same. Some people hearing this might be thinking, that's terrible. He's talking about their rights and their liberties and things like that. No, I'm not. Men and women are not the same. Biologically, emotionally, psychologically, hormonally, they don't respond the same to the same situations. But the men are told that men and women are the same. Here's why it's so bad for the man. The man looks at the woman and he becomes physically infatuated with her. He finds her beautiful, alluring, hypnotic. He is smitten with her. Now, here's the thing. If men and women are the same, as the boy has been told, then she must be looking at him and thinking the same thing. But she's not, is she? No, not at all. She is hypergamous. Where he is looking at the female for her physical attractiveness, she is looking at him for his financial and social viability. So we're not the same, are we? So the man is giving his heart and his emotions over to a relationship with a woman, but the woman is making a financial, material, legal decision. This is why the men are surprised, when the divorce comes, and she can be so ruthless and use the system. The MGTOW man knows this, that it's not the same. She is looking for resources. So he should be able to protect and guard himself better than the typical blue pill simp that's looking to, buy the woman's affection. Okay, moving on. Number 4 reason why MGTOW men should be rich. The same principle that applies in number 5 applies in number 4 as well. But it's applied to your dealings with social institutions, with the place where you work, with the place where you go to school, where the place that gives you the government loan, your student loan. The MGTOW man understands that the system is not there to help people, but to exploit people. In other words, they want to give you a student loan because you being in debt to them raises their financial status. They don't care about anything else. None of the other things are part of their considerations. They don't care whether or not someone's going to pay back a loan. They don't care whether or not somebody is actually qualified to go to the particular school. They care about raising their own financial status. And the MGTOW man knows this. So when he's dealing in the world, he knows that these people, they're not trying to help him. You see, this is an important lesson. And I know that a lot of you guys, you don't get this lesson yet. You're just coming into MGTOW and you're like, we should work for free because we love what we do. And it's like, no, you should not work for free. No, you should not be a slave. You should not give something of value for something of no value. And when a man steps forward and starts suggesting it, you know that he still hasn't figured this part out. Okay, the world itself is hypergamous. Mother Nature. I think it speaks for itself. Let me clarify it even a little bit more. The institutions of our society, They're not here to take care of men. They're here to take care of women. So if you fall on hard times as a man, there's no social safety net. If you do something very foolish financially, no one's going to bail you out. I hear they recently passed a law in the United Kingdom that if a woman is guilty of a crime, they're not going to sentence her very strongly. In other words, only in the most extreme cases will the woman be sentenced to any jail time. But the man will be sentenced to the full term of the requirements. Free Tommy Robinson. Any little technicality, they're going to put a man in jail. But except in the most extreme cases, they're not going to put a woman in jail for the same crime. So we're not even equal before the law, and we're certainly not equal within the institutions of Western civilization. The function is to take care of and help the women. If you think men and women are the same and that we're equal, the man is going to think that the institutions of Western civilization are here to take care of him. They are not. They are here to exploit him, just as the woman is here to exploit him. The MGTOW man knows this, therefore he doesn't have to fall prey to it. Moving on, the number 3 reason why the MGTOW man should be rich. Once the MGTOW man figures out that he is not a woman, that he will not be treated the way a woman is, that the system is not geared towards helping him, he can start getting down to some serious work. He can start dealing with objective reality. Look, a lot of you guys, you want to indulge your feelings. What this person said, what that person said, how it made you feel, what you're going to do. You're not going to forgive this, you're not going to forgive that. If you were working on a job site and you behaved like that, you'd be fired. You know that. So to come into MGTOW and to bring that into MGTOW, there's no place for it in MGTOW. There's no place for it in a man's life, in a man's world. Of course, you've got your feelings and your emotions, and you're going to feel what you feel, and you're going to express it, no doubt, and you should, but you shouldn't live in it. You shouldn't hold on to it. In other words, the MGTOW man has a clear picture of objective reality and his place in it, and he accepts it. And he's not pitching a fit. Look, if you're pitching a fit, that means you're trying to get something for free, some sort of consideration or something like that. It's not masculine behavior, and it's not healthy for the man either. In other words, if the young man indulges in his feelings too much, he doesn't get strong. He doesn't build up his abilities, his status, and then he gets depressed, and then he shies away. So it's destructive to the male nature to have this liberal, socialistic group attitude. You are a man in a system that's not here to take care of you, and you're not the same as a woman. And if you don't take care of yourself and get things done right here, then you're not going to get paid, and you're not going to have food, and no one's going to feel sorry for you. And if you cry about it, it's actually going to make men sick. It's actually going to make people sick. I don't want to put too fine of a point on this, but if a man complains too much, like if you're healthy, okay, if you've got 2 arms and 2 legs and nobody's poking you with a sharp stick, get to work. Stop complaining. It's hard for everyone. It's hard for all of the men. The MGTOW man knows this. He's not indulging his feelings as a child. He has feelings, but they don't rule him. They're not the most important thing. Getting results, that's the most important thing. And the MGTOW man knows that. Women will try to convince you otherwise. They'll try to convince you that the most important things are people's feelings. To them, that's how it is. And there's nothing to be upset about or angry about this. This is how women are wired. They can read people's emotions. They look at their facial expressions. They read the emotions. They make the adjustments. Men are not looking at the faces. They're working. They're struggling. They're overcoming obstacles. They're not paying attention to feelings. They have that ability. They overcome being dominated by their emotions. That's why when I'm talking to a man who's upset, or even a little Antifa rioter, or a person who's engaged in civil disobedience, I have no respect for that. Why should I? They've been triggered. They're pitching a fit. There's no difference, between them and a child laying on the ground, screaming and crying. They're just doing it differently. Good luck with that. So the MGTOW man is aware of that. He doesn't have to deal with that. He may have to deal with his emotions, kind of like tossing him about like a ship on the ocean. But he knows that he needs to bring himself back on course. Level-headed, destination in mind, tracking his progress. This is the way of the MGTOW man, dealing with reality. Okay, moving on. The number 2 reason why the MGTOW man should be rich. Once a man is not distracted by women, by emotions, by foolishness, Look at how productive he can be. We don't know how productive he can be. Look at someone like Nikola Tesla. Look at someone like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is, he's got his boring company as well, right? That's drilling tunnels all over the place. So maybe he'll create a few more companies. Is there a limit? We don't know what it is. At the upper reaches of intelligence, it's only men. It's 95% men. The male of the species, we don't know the limits. So if you can get yourself in check as a man, get a clear picture of the situation around you and your place in it, and get yourself on course, get yourself healthy, not allow yourself to be distracted, you can change the world. You can reshape the world. You can find real objective productivity on the things that you care about. That's quite phenomenal. A child can't do that. It's very difficult for a woman to do that. She's got to deal with more. She's got to deal with her physiology. Much more difficult for her to do that. There's no indication that she, is suited to do that. In other words, the male is designed for work, for productive work. If the female engages in that level of activity, it's damaging to her physically. And this is true mentally and psychologically. If the man can get himself clear, on course, aware of the situation, not distracted. Okay, moving on. And the number one reason why the MGTOW man should be rich is that the MGTOW man does not have to pay for a bitch. You know what that means? A man in a relationship, I would estimate that he's giving over approximately 70% of his productivity to the woman. He's keeping just enough to sustain himself. You understand that's the psychological mindset that the male is conditioned to adopt coming into the relationship with the woman. That he can sustain himself in order to continue to do work for the woman and the gynocentric state. And that his highest ambition is to completely sacrifice himself for the woman and for the state and for others. What a thing to do to a man, to turn him into a beast of burden. He's not even a thinking creature anymore. He's a sacrifice to the woman, to his love. And even after he gives everything, I hope you understand that she still gets rid of him. Brad Pitt is not immune from this. Elon Musk is not immune from this. Johnny Depp is not immune from this, but they can afford it, right? Like if you've got $200 million and you have to give away $100 million, well, you've still got $100 million. So you're going to be okay. But man, if you're just getting by, like you're making $50,000 or $70,000 a year, and you suddenly have to give over like 75, 85% of that to a woman, how are you going to live? At the bare minimum is how you're going to live. Top ramen, looking for places to sleep that are warm. So understand also that if the man doesn't have to pay for a bitch, he's also aware that the state is extracting endless resources from him, that the system is extracting endless resources from him. And here's the part that we forget because we're conditioned to drop it, is that we are constantly being conditioned 24 hours a day to accept this situation, to go along with this situation. And if you don't, well, then you're a misogynist, then you're a bad man. This is why I like the Tom Leykis clips, because Tom stands his ground. He is firm. And the women, they can't take it. It doesn't matter what it is, the man wants. That's not the point. The point is that if the man is not going the way of the woman, going the way of the state, that nearly the entire system comes down upon him and starts negatively attacking him so that he will comply and go along with the system. And this is happening to all of us all the time. So there you go. The top 5 reasons why MGTOW men should be rich. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone.